What is up, everyone? The Mask of Change cards have been fully revealed on PokeBeach today. That is our main set cards that will make up the Twilight Masquerade set, which debuts Ogre Phan, which is the star of the Teal Mask DLC. So this set, plus the last set, are going to kind of encompass the Teal Mask DLC for those of you guys who played it. So we're going to have a lot of cool cards in here. The most important things we're going to look for as a competitive player here is some ace specs, some new game-breaking cards that could be really good. I have not looked at any of the cards or scans just yet. I may have seen some of these early already, but we're going to jump through these cards together, do a full set review, hopefully see what's good, what's bad. Honest reactions. Obviously, things can change because I don't know everything off the top of my head. It's pretty late at night when these came out. So let's just take a look at them. A couple alt art rares here. This is a very cool looking Wattrell. They're all just swimming. I actually like this quite a bit. I'm going to get this for my collection. Chimecho, a little zoom in like picture shot of the little chime guy doing his job. And then we have Kieran and Carmine, I believe, are two of the side characters in the set. Or in the Teal Mask. I think Kieran goes like full emo after you stop being his friend or something. I didn't finish part 1 of the DLC. I'm not going to lie to you guys. There's just a lot of talking, and I just never got through it. Anyway, this set releases in Japan on the 26th, which will make up the March Crimson Haze set, which was the Blood Moon Earth Luna set. Paired with this will make up our Twilight Masquerade set, which is going to be releasing on May 11th, I believe. Not like official release, but May 11th, I believe, is when pre-releases begin, into a May 27th release date, which then makes it legal for NAIC. So this will be our last major set before NAIC, and then we'll have a mini set for Worlds as well. So Twilight Masquerade is these cards. I'm just going to scroll through the arts real quick. No spoilies. Let's jump. I saw a couple. I saw an Ace-Spec Energy. Let's see if that's actually is playable. So yeah, Sunkern is Bullet Seed, 10 damage, flip 4 coins. Nothing crazy. Sunshine Return. For each fire attached to all of your opponent's Pokemon. So this is like a kind of a counter card to Charizard, I guess. You could play a 1/1 Sunflora line. If Charizard has 2 energy in play, you're swinging for 240. If they have 3 energy in play, you're swinging for knockout on a Charizard. So I guess like if they just overcommit energy on accident, you can just kill them with a Sunflora for 1 grass energy. Seems pretty cheeky, but in every other matchup it seems terrible because it's specifically fire type energy and not all energy in play maybe. So it's funny in a deck that could utilize multiple stage 1s potentially, but I don't think it's necessarily amazing. Heracross has Body Slam, nothing crazy here. Let's move on. Volbeat. If you go first, you can use the attack during your first turn, so you should deck for up to 2 basics. So it's Call for Family, but going first. But the problem is like the second attack isn't very good, Coordinated Strike, and it's got 70 HP, so it's like a big commitment to play this just for Fast Sign, unless you're, so like if your deck really needs to get set up on turn 1, can you actually get to the Volbeat turn 1? Like can you go Puffin into Volbeat, retreat into Volbeat, and then like use the attack or something all on turn 1? So it doesn't seem like you can use it. And then Illumise says, Slowing Prefer, you can only use this attack if he goes second, and only during your first turn, shuffle one of your opponent's bench Pokemon, all cards attached, into their deck. So you can basically go second and just throw something back in, but that doesn't really change because it's not like at any point in the game. It's only on turn 1, and that doesn't really do much. Phantump, and I assume this is meant to say Trevenant. Both of them are nothing to write home about here. Grookey is back here. We have a Thwacky with the Bang Bang Drum. If your active Pokemon has the ability Festival Lead, you may use this ability, search your deck for a card, put it in your hand. So I don't know who's got Festival Lead, but we'll see in a second, because this seems like a pretty decent stage 1 to have if there's a broken attacker with Festival Lead or some sort of like lock or stall strategy, because any ability that says search your deck for a card and put it in your hand is actually very, very strong. And then Rillaboom has Drum Attack for 60 and increase the retreat cost, and then Woodhammer for 180, which is whatever. These are bad attacks. I don't think we're ever going to play Rillaboom, but Thwacky seems actually very, very playable with the Bang Bang Drum. Applin. There's the Dipin. There's the Festival Lead. That was pretty quick. If Festival Grounds is in play, this Pokemon may use an attack it has twice. If the first attack knocks out opponent's Pokemon, you may attack again after your opponent knocks out. Choose a new Pokemon. Do the wave, 20 for each of your bench Pokemon. So you do 100 damage with Dipin. Attack 2 times if you have Festival Grounds. 200 damage. Get to find cards with Thwacky. Interesting synergy, but I don't know if it's really that strong. Dipin being 80 HP is a little bit annoying. But Applin is 40, so you can search out most of the line with just Puffin into TM Evo. I guess Festival Lead plus Festival Grounds into TM Evo could just get your board set up really, really fast also with Grotle and Thwacky. And Grotle searches for other stuff, and then Grotle gives you access to using Torterra. So Torterra plus Dipin gives you certain attackers. I don't know what Festival Grounds does just yet, but it seems like an interesting grass strategy that you could play. Poltergeist is T-Prep, but a basic grass, nothing crazy. Sinistcha, the evolution, is Curse Droplets, 4 damage counters in any way you like. And then Matcha All Out, 70 times, 3 basic grass from your board in play. Actually, a good amount of damage. 210 is pretty sizable. Dude, if it got to 220 or even 240, maybe it'd be like more playable, like if it was 80 times. But 210 is like a little bit short on a lot of attackers. But 240 plus like a modifier puts you at 260, which knocks out a lot of the EX Pokemon that are stage 1s. And then 240 knocks out a lot of V Pokemon already. So a little bit worse for wear, but it is like a glass cannon deck. We have the Teal Mask Ogre Phan. I think we've talked about this one before. Mountain Stroll, 2 basic energies. Ogre Comeback for each bench. Nothing crazy. And then the Teal Mask, which has basic grass from your hand to this Pokemon. And if you do, you can draw a card. So I guess you can use Teal Dance a bunch and then use Sinistcha to blow up something pretty quickly. And then Myriad Leaf Shower is an attack. You can also use the Teal Mask Ogre Phan to knock out something like a Charizard or just do a ton of damage to something in general. But I think 210 HP does make it a little bit weaker than you would like it to be. But I think Teal Mask Ogre Phan has the most playability because the ability draws you a card with the effect as well and accelerates energy. Darumaka, Darmanitan, nothing crazy. Litwick, Lampent. Then Chandelure just has you may both draw a card, which is fine, I guess. I don't really know, but I guess Mind Ruler does 30 times each in your opponent's hand. So maybe if you have like a lock deck that doesn't let you play, like your opponent play cards, maybe Mind Roll makes sense, but maybe Inviting Light with like 2 Chandelures potentially. Do we have top entry Lampent still? Because that would make this more playable, but I don't remember if top entry rotated. But Chandelure can go Inviting Light, draw 2. Now I can area you or I can Chiyu you. And if you're playing against like control, for example, like I have Chandelure in my control deck, maybe I just can like speed up the game by making you draw more cards, making you have to Iono earlier or something like that. Then we have the Hearthflame Ogre Phan Mask, EX, which does 20 times for each damage count on it, which can be procced by Magma Basin. And then Dynamic Blaze is 140 plus 140 and discard all energy from this Pokemon. So it's a really steep attack cost. I don't even think one-shots a lot of things in format, so I don't really like that quite a bit. Poliwag is here and Poliwhirl is as well. Cute little guys, but they're pretty bad. Same with Poliwrath. Really not playable. Oh, Goldeen also has Festival Lead. Same thing. If Festival Grounds is in play, you can use it attack twice. Whirlpool 10. Flip a coin, discard an energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. You're just not knocking anything out. Like, I do not care if I'm Goldeening twice. Maybe Goldeen with a DTE in control with Festival Grounds, you can try to just... It's like a double hammer, right? But you're hammering for turn. So maybe you get like a double hammer effect and just get to get rid of a bunch of energy. So maybe Goldeen plus DTE in a control deck could be really good. To just play as like a combo piece to get rid of 2 energies on top of like maybe aerating their hand or locking something in the active and like burning the resources. So I don't hate that actually. Peckoff on the Seeking has Tool discard, but I don't like that at all. It's like pretty bad. Jinx Inviting Kiss, which is for basic, put on your bench. It's just Call for Family, and then, but you get to move an energy, so it's like mini Call for Family. It's just pretty bad though. Phoebus and Milotic. Your opponent's Pokemon in play and cards attached to those Pokemon can't be returned to their hand. So Milotic is like a pretty direct counter to Turo and Penny in this format. So you really just counter control and maybe decks that can rely on Turo and Penny. So maybe Milotic gets better to counter decks like Zard, or like you can put this into a deck that can really abuse that. I think the bench, the keep your hand Milotic has rotated because I think that was Fusion Strike or Rapid Strike maybe. But that card's gone. So if you had both Milotics evolved from Free Bass, it'd be really, really good, actually. I think Tranquil is actually a pretty cool card. I think this is, like, playable. Snorunt, choose a random card, reveal and shuffle. Fair enough. 20 damage times each damage counter your opponent's active. Probably not a ton of damage you can actually do with this, with damage beats. Yeah, I don't really know what you can do with that. And then Frostslass is during 1 checkup, put damage counter on each Pokemon in play with an ability, except for any Frostslass. So I guess 1 damage counter is doable, but I think you would need at least 2 per turn to make it like a sizable difference in any real matchup. And then your deck has to have no abilities also, obviously, because then you're going to hurt yourself. Finizen, little cute guy, evolves into Palafin. Ability 0 to hero. Once your turn, once Pokemon moves from the active to the bench, you may search your deck for Palafin EX and switch it. Any cards, damage counter, special conditions, all reflect on the new one, and this one shuffles back in. So Baby Palafin shuffles itself back in for the EX. So I guess you're playing a Palafin deck, you can play like a 4-2-3 line or something, or like a 3-2-3. Like you don't need a full grip of this Palafin because this guy always shuffles himself back into the deck. So you don't really need a ton of them. But then you have Palafin EX, which I assume there are 2 different cards, so you can play multiple copies, more than 4. 340 HP on a stage 1. Holy moly, that's a lot of HP. Jesus Christ. Ability Hero Spirit, put this into effect with only powerful 0 hero play, so you can't evolve it naturally. You have to use 0 to hero, which is, like, annoying, I guess, but, like, you should play a bunch of switch cards, so maybe you're playing, like, a deck that has, like, Comfies or something that can just, like, play switch card or switch, and you're like, hey, 0 to hero, what's up? I am Izuku Midoriya. I have All Might's power. W, Giga Impact, 250 can't attack next turn, but you should be playing switch cards anyway if you're trying to get into this. So just 1 water for 250 is actually pretty insane. Lightning weakness is super unideal because hands can just pop this. But dude, I don't even know. Like, you need 3 crowns to kill this with Amp. Or with Amp you very much. And then if you use Arm Press, I guess Arm Press you just go down to hands pretty easily. But is hands even going to be a good deck afterwards? I know Iron Treads is in the set, so we'll get to that guy. I know that guy's playable. A new Iron Bungle is out. Interjet, 60 switch, pretty bad. I like the old Bungle. That guy's broken. Wellspring, Ogre Mask Pawn, Ogre Phan Mask. I don't know. Whatever. 20, and they can't retreat, so it's a lock, and then 3 energy to this Pokemon to the deck, and 120 to one to the bench. It's okay, but I think as long as Mana Phase in format, this card's just unplayable. Shinx, Luxio, nothing crazy. Luxray EX, I saw this art. I didn't know what it does. 310 HP, pretty sizable. Lightning type, good typing to have. Fighting weakness is fine right now. Double Claws, Piercing Glint, 120. Look at your opponent's card and discard a card. Wow, that's actually pretty insane. So you can go Luxray, Pidgeot, Control instead of playing Snorlax. So now you have Luxray, so you have Luxray V, Luxray EX. Luxray V gets a normal card. Maybe you can even play it slow and play like TM Evolutor now and just Evolute into Pidgeot or Pidgeotto and Luxio, and then go to turn 2, turn 3, Luxray, Pidgeot, and then start going Unfair Stamp, like shenanigans to just put stuff away, and then you have a Lecky to bring back the Unfair Stamp. So you can just go into like this loop where you can go 1 turn back into a Lecky, pick up the Unfair Stamp, go back into Luxray EX, Piercing Glint, take a card from there, just put your opponent to 0 as long as you're not playing the game, and then in the meantime you're airing and MF Sistering and just getting, that seems so toxic. That seems insanely toxic. Like, holy Jesus, man. Like, Control, W for you. Volt Strike, 250, discard all. Emolga, 30, or 10 spread, nothing crazy. Wattrell, 10, flip a coin if heads para. Wind Charge, 120 more to the next, active the next turn with Kill Wattrell, but I just don't think that's like enough damage. Same with Strongbolt. Clefairy and Clefable both are pretty mediocre here. Abra has Teleporter. You may shuffle it just into your deck if it's in the active. So it's like a free retreat slot, but let's see if the Alakazam actually does anything to make it worth playing. Kadabra is 10 plus 30 for each Psychic attached to the opponent's active. Nothing crazy. And then Alakazam is Psychic Hack, or Strange Hack, Confused, and move damage counters. So nothing crazy again. And then Psychic 10 plus 50 for each energy, which is like a pretty stable like attack on a Alakazam, I think. But yeah. Chimecho, shuffle one of your bench Pokemon and put it into your deck. For DTE, seems fine, but also like at the same time, it's like I don't even know like when I would use this over like a Turo or something, just in general, or a Penny even. And a lot of the time, I don't want to shuffle something into the deck. So yeah, Swirlix also has Festival Lead here. Festival Grounds is in play. Yeah, you know the deal. Sneaky placement, 2 damage counters on 1 Pokemon, so you can get 4 damage counters for a Psychic if you have all the pieces. Seems quite crazy, I think. I don't know. I think it's like very weak. And then Slurpuff is Lickety Lick, 90. That's a crazy attack. 90, flip 2 coins if heads, 180 if one heads, 90 if both their tails are confused. Reasonable Lickety Lick here. Could be okay. Sandygast, just sand attack is normal. Palossand is 60, same thing. They have to flip a coin for attack, but everything has so many switching cards and jets and whatever, so this is completely irrelevant. Monkey Dory, Adrenaline Brain. If you have Darkness attached, you may move 3 from one of your Pokemon to your opponent's Pokemon. So if there's a deck that spreads damage or something, you can always just offset and get a free, like, plus 30, like a Leon, basically. But the attack on Monkey Dory is pretty bad, so I think it's like you attach a Dark to Monkey Dory to activate some way to move damage from your board to their board. If you have a way to accelerate damage even to your board, like maybe like in Gardevoir with like a Dark or something, maybe you can get like a plus 30 damage for free doing that. Pheasantipity, if you have Dark attached, you can flip a coin if heads, you just don't take any damage. And then Energy Feathers is 30 times each energy attached to this Pokemon. If it was both, I think that'd be like actually kind of funny playable, where it's like you just like surprise Energy Feathers in my Gardevoir deck, I have 20 HP left. It's Adrenaline Pheromones time. I'm going to do a ton of damage to you. You have to do something about it. But only one way, being only the energy on this Pokemon, makes it a lot worse. Sandshrew, Sandshresh, unfortunate for the gang. They're just bad. Same with the Conkeldurr line, it looks like. Actually, Gutsy Swing seems pretty reasonable. If you have a special condition, you can use this attack ignoring the cost. So you can attack for free for 250 with Brute Bonnet in play, I guess. But you take 10 damage and then you're very flimsy and you're a stage 2, so it just becomes worse. Yeah, just bad. Glamora is Para and then Venoshock if they're poisoned as well. So you Para poison, and if you get the heads and they don't switch out, then you can hit again for 30 plus 100. So you have taken now 2 poison ticks as well. So 150, 160 potentially if you do all this. But that's a lot of work for all that hubbub. But I guess you can play like Glamora Bonnet, Brute Bonnet. But I don't know if it's even worth playing like that much damage when you can do something else with the deck. Ability, Adrenaline Flower on Okie Dokie. Dark Energy goes, well, plus 100, does 100 more to the active. But 2 fighting for 70 is a steep cost. I guess the plus 100 HP is actually pretty insane. But there's no fighting excel, which is kind of annoying. So you can't even, like, do the Okie Punchy, like, reasonably fast. You have the Cornerstone Mask, Ogre Phan. Prevent all damage from attacks on this Pokemon by ability. That's actually pretty interesting again, but Demolish is just, like... I don't know, both these attack, like the ability and attack are pretty reasonable. I think it's like potentially playable because you can just wall out certain things because you have like a Mimikyu or a Alolan Ninetales-esque ability, and not a lot of things have Shred besides Giratina in the format. Poochyena, Mightyena. Mightyena has 30 plus 90 for each benched Mightyena, so that's like a lot of work to get all the Mightyenas into play. You cap at 300 damage, but I don't think it's terrible. I think it's like a funny, okay deck you could play maybe. Venipede, Whirlipede, nothing to write home about. Same with Scolipede, but you can put your opponent down to 10, and then you can go Scolipede plus Bonnet to take a knockout on something. But the problem is it's a stage 2, and Bonnet needs as a tool, so like you're not actually getting this set up very often. We have a new Brute Bonnet Ancient. They're poisoned, and then Rattling Strike, 50 plus 50 for each damage counter on the active. That's 3 dogs. That's a very steep cost. I just wouldn't play that card. Skarmory's bad. Aaron, Laren, and then let's see what Agron has to do. 50 for each that has damage counters on it. Nothing, again, crazy. Guard Claw 120. Heatran, it's not translated yet, but I think 50 times something with metals here. Maybe each metal you discard, probably not ideal either. Varoom and Revaroom are okay. Revaroom has Rally Back, and I guess if you're playing an engine that has the other Revaroom that draws you cards, maybe it's like worth playing, but I think as of now it's not. Dreepy and Drakloak. Drakloak is Airmail. Look at the top 2, put one in your hand and one at the bottom of your deck. Actually a very, very good ability. Like pretty insane to have Airmail on any stage 1. If the stage 2 is even slightly playable, which it isn't EX, it looks like, I think Drakloak could make its way back in as a Dragon type especially. That can just Airmail every turn with TM Evo especially too. Like turn 1 TM Evo and like after Puffin with Arven. Seems pretty insane. Just get your board set up. Dragapult is 70 damage for a colorless. And then Fire Psychic, 206 damage counters, which is pretty insane. Like how much you can do with a typing that has no weakness. Is it for retreat? No, I think I see one. One retreat is whatever, that's fine still. But it's a ton of damage and I like that quite a bit. Tatsugiri comes into the fray with Attract Customers. He's a wannabe Jirachi. Look at the top 6 cards of your deck. Reveal a supporter, put it in your hand, shuffle the rest in. A good consistency card. I like this Tatsugiri. Like maybe you need to find your one-ofs, maybe you need to be bailed out. I like this guy a lot. Farfetch, bench him, attach a tool. It's funny, but it doesn't do anything. Chancy, attach a basic energy from your hand. Nothing crazy here. Blissey, when you attach a move a basic energy, you can just move one once per turn. Doesn't change a ton, I think, in the scope of things. And then return 180 and then drop to 3. So, okay card, but nothing crazy. Looks like Apom, Ambipom, Ducklet, and Swan didn't get translated, so we just don't care about them. We're going to keep moving on. Items are here. Ogre Phan. This just lets you switch the Ogre Phans, but I just don't think it's enough because all of them have such different energy cost typings that you just can't use them effectively. Waking Whistle. Look at the top 5 cards of your opponent's deck. Put any number of basic Pokemon you find there onto your bench. Really good control card. Really annoying that like your opponent can play a Waking Whistle, hit like your Luminian, and all of a sudden the game is bad for you. It doesn't say you may, though, so it's like you have to put those Pokemon on the bench. So maybe you find something you don't like and you have to put it there. Secret Box, a spec, new a spec. Let's see it. Discard 3 cards in your hand to order to use this card. Very steep cost. Search your deck for 1 item, 1 tool, 1 support, or 1 stadium. Huh. So you could secret box for an item to maybe refill your hand, a tool to bolster something, a stadium potentially that can work with your deck, and then supporters like Salvatore or like Research and just go. Interesting, but I think the 3-card discard is a pretty steep clause. Scoop Up Cyclone makes its way back, just picking up a guy. I think that card's got to be good in some capacity. At some point, someone will play it. Bug Catching Set, look at the top 7 cards, choose up to 2 grass or basic energy, put them in your hand. This item would refresh to see. I think it's got to be important. There it is. See, the timing is impeccable. Handy Fan, when the Pokemon is attached to takes damage, move an energy from the attacking tier 1 near bench. Control strategy, just start moving stuff around, so Handy Fan can be a little bit annoying, like a worse Rocky Helmet to deal with. And then, yeah, it seems like a pretty decent tool. Obviously, it doesn't bolster your HP on anyone, so it's like not nearly as good. It's like a Bravery Charm or something to make your guys bigger, but it's also good to make them move their energies. Kieran, switch your active with your bench, and then during this turn, your attacks do 30 more to active EX or V, which is a choose one, but I think both are pretty decent. It's like a Tate and Liza that has a bolstered damage, like Tate and Liza plus Leon, so I like that kind of, it seems reasonable. Carmine, if you go first, you can play this, discard your hand, draw 5. Decent, but I don't know what deck needs to do that on turn 1, so I don't think you can play Carmine. Hassle, play this card if your Pokemon knocked out last turn, look at the top 8, put 3 in your hand. That's pretty insane. I think Hassle is going to have some playability, because you can go Hassle, Unfair Stamp, or like Unfair, like Hassle gets you out of an Unfair Stamp also. Like, this seems pretty insane. Festival Grounds, all Pokemon in play that have energy, can't be affected by special conditions, heal all conditions for Pokemon that have them. Pretty mediocre. They built up this festival lead ability, it just sucks. So all the Pokemon that have it are bad, it's fine. Jamming Tower, no tools in play have effect. That's good. I like that quite a bit. It's going to be really annoying to play into. Lysander Labs is back, basically. Escape boards get nerfed. Batons get hit. Just stuff in general, like Defiance Belt and stuff like that. You have to play around stuff now more as in terms of Jamming Tower. And finally, we have Legacy Energy. As long as this card's attached to a Pokemon, it fights every type of energy, but only one. If a Pokemon is knocked out, your opponent takes 1 less prize card, but you can only use this effect once. Maybe this goes into Reggie's. Maybe this is the energy we were looking for. Get Legacy into the discard, it becomes a Rainbow. We can now play less stuff. We also give up 1 less prize, so 7 prize game on the 1 prizers. Maybe Legacy Energy is good. Maybe we play this in Reggie's if we can find a way. But thank you guys for watching. This was my analysis of the Mask of Change main set. Hope you enjoyed this. Please like and subscribe. It helps the channel a ton. And that being said, peace out.